Commander Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of the International Space Station, her dark eyes fixed on the shimmering vessel that had appeared in Earth's orbit 12 hours ago. The Lysarian ship defied traditional spacecraft design, its crystalline structure seeming to pulse with bioluminescent light. As Earth's leading quantum physicist and decorated military strategist, Sarah had seen her share of remarkable phenomena. But this was different. This was first contact. "Commander, they're requesting your presence specifically." General Martinez's voice crackled through her comm unit. "Their message mentions something about quantum resonance patterns in your brain." Sarah's hand instinctively touched the neural interface at her temple, the experimental quantum processor she'd helped develop. How did they even detect that? "Our quantum shielding should have prevented any scans." "That's exactly why you're going up there," Martinez replied. "They've demonstrated technology far beyond our current understanding, but they're interested in us, in you." The transport pod that arrived to collect her was a marvel of bioengineering. Its translucent walls shifted and adapted as Sarah entered, creating a perfectly customized environment. A holographic interface materialized before her, displaying what appeared to be her own neural patterns intertwined with complex alien data structures. "Welcome, Commander Chen," a melodious voice filled the chamber. "I am Valara, first successor of the Lysarian Empire. Your quantum consciousness signature is fascinating." Sarah's scientific training warred with her military instincts as a figure materialized before her. The alien princess stood nearly 7 feet tall, had iridescent skin-shifting colors, like the surface of a soap bubble. But it was her eyes that captured Sarah's attention, swirling vortexes of quantum probability, displaying mathematical patterns that shouldn't have been possible in organic matter. "Your Highness," Sarah managed, maintaining her composure. "I wasn't expecting a royal welcome." Valara's expression shifted in a way that might have been a smile. "Few expect the path fate draws for them. Your species has achieved quantum consciousness integration far sooner than our predictions suggested. It makes you uniquely suitable." "Suitable for what exactly?" "Our empire stands at a crossroads, Commander. For millennia, we have refined our biological technology, pushing the boundaries of organic computing. But we've reached our limits. Your quantum research, your personal breakthroughs in consciousness quantum entanglement, they represent a new path forward." Sarah's mind raced through the implications. "You want our quantum technology?" "I want partnership," Valara corrected. "Our civilizations complement each other in ways that defy statistical probability. But the conservative factions of my court resist change. They cling to purely biological advancement." The princess moved closer, her quantum eyes scanning Sarah with undisguised interest. "Our laws require that any significant technological exchange be preceded by a formal joining of houses. A marriage in your terms." Sarah's breath caught. "You're not suggesting." "I am invoking the right of selection," Valara announced formally. "Commander Sarah Chen, I choose you as my potential mate, subject to the traditional trials of compatibility. Your quantum consciousness patterns align with mine in ways I have never encountered. Together, we could bridge the gap between our technologies, our species, our futures." Warning signals flashed through Sarah's neural interface as her pulse spiked. This was far beyond any first contact protocol she'd trained for. "Your Highness, I'm not sure you understand. I'm a soldier and a scientist, not a diplomat, and while I'm honored, the implications of such an arrangement are precisely why it must be you," Valara interrupted. "The noble houses respect strength and intelligence above all. You possess both, along with something we've lost, the ability to see beyond established patterns. Your quantum consciousness interface proves it." A subtle shift in the transport pod's atmosphere drew Sarah's attention to a new holographic display. It showed the potential merger of human quantum computing with Lysarian organic technology. The implications were staggering: computational power that could solve humanity's greatest challenges, medical advances beyond imagination, faster than light travel that wouldn't require massive energy expenditure. The trials will test more than your physical capabilities, Valara continued. They will challenge your understanding of reality itself. Many will oppose this union. The conservative houses fear change, and some would rather see our empire stagnate than evolve. Sarah's military training kicked in, analyzing the strategic implications. This isn't just about marriage or technology, is it? This is about the future of your empire. Valara's skin rippled with patterns that Sarah's neural interface interpreted as approval. You understand quickly, Commander. My people stand at a crucial juncture. We can remain bound by tradition, or we can embrace new possibilities. Your presence, your very existence as a quantum-enhanced human, represents a third path that neither side has considered. And if I refuse, then both our civilizations will continue on their separate paths. Humanity will eventually achieve what we have, and we will eventually overcome our limitations. But it will take centuries that neither of us can afford to waste. Valara's quantum eyes swirled with complex equations. The universe is changing, Commander. Ancient powers are stirring. Our civilizations need each other, whether my people are ready to admit it or not. Sarah turned to the window, watching Earth rotate slowly below them. Everything she'd worked for, her military career, her scientific breakthroughs, had led to this moment. But was she ready to become a symbol, a bridge between worlds? Her quantum interface hummed with increased activity as it processed the possibilities. The patterns in Valara's eyes weren't just beautiful. They were solutions to problems Sarah had been wrestling with for years. Together, they might unlock secrets that neither civilization could discover alone. The trials, Sarah said finally. Tell me about them. Valara's skin shifted to a deep, resonant blue. They will test your quantum comprehension, your adaptability, your strength of will. But most importantly, they will prove to my people that humanity is ready for true partnership. And if I succeed, then we rewrite the future of two civilizations. Valara extended her hand, energy patterns swirling between them. Are you prepared to challenge fate, Commander Chen? Sarah took a deep breath, her quantum interface aligning with the princess's energy patterns in ways that defied her scientific understanding. She reached out and took Valara's hand. I've never been one to back down from a challenge, Your Highness. When do we begin? The transport pod's walls shifted, displaying the massive Lysarian fleet that had remained cloaked until now. As Sarah watched, the ships arranged themselves into a pattern she recognized from her quantum research. The geometric representation of consciousness collapsed into defined reality. We already have, Commander, Valara smiled. The first trial starts now. The pod accelerated toward the crystalline flagship, carrying Sarah toward a future she could never have imagined. Behind her, Earth grew smaller, but her connection to humanity had never felt stronger. Whatever these trials might bring, she would face them with the determination and ingenuity that had defined her species throughout history. The fate of two civilizations now rested on her ability to prove that humanity's greatest strength wasn't just their technology or their adaptability. It was their capacity to embrace the unknown and transform it into opportunity. The crystalline halls of the Lysarian flagship pulsed with bio-organic light as Sarah followed Valara toward the trial chamber. Her neural interface struggled to process the overwhelming flood of quantum data that seemed to permeate every surface. The ship itself was alive, she realized, a massive consciousness that dwarfed even the most advanced AI systems on Earth. Your first trial addresses the fundamental question, Valara explained, her iridescent form gliding gracefully ahead. Can human consciousness adapt to true quantum integration? Before Sarah could respond, a group of Lysarian nobles emerged from a shifting portal in the wall. Their skin patterns displayed complex harmonics of disapproval that Sarah's interface translated into emotional data. The leader, his crystalline crown, marking him as High Chancellor Zixtal, fixed her with eyes that rippled with barely contained disdain. first successor, he said, bowing slightly to Valara while ignoring Sarah completely. The Council of Elders requests your presence. This experiment requires discussion. Valara's skin flashed with patterns that Sarah's interface interpreted as both annoyance and amusement. The right of selection is absolute, Chancellor, or do you question ancient law? We question the wisdom of diluting our pure biological advancement with primitive quantum mechanics. Another noble interjected. These humans barely understand the forces they attempt to manipulate. Sarah's interface pinged a warning. Her pulse had elevated, and combat protocols were starting to engage. She forced herself to remain calm, but couldn't resist a response. Primitive? Our primitive quantum mechanics allowed us to detect your cloaked fleet 3 days before you revealed yourselves. The noble's skin patterns shifted to shock, then outrage. Valara's eyes swirled with what Sarah now recognized as delight. You never mentioned this capability, Commander Chen. You never asked, Your Highness. Sarah met the Chancellor's gaze steadily. We also detected the quantum irregularities in your biosystems when you attempted to scan Earth. Your organic technology is incredible, but it has blind spots, especially when dealing with artificial quantum systems. Chancellor Zixtal's crown crystals vibrated with suppressed emotion. You dare to suggest. I dare to suggest partnership, Sarah interrupted, her neural interface automatically adjusting her vocal harmonics to match Lazarian formal patterns. Your organic computing can process quantum data in ways our artificial systems never could. But our systems can perceive quantum states that your organic tech is blind to. Together, we'd be stronger than either civilization is alone. Valara moved to Sarah's side, their quantum fields harmonizing in a way that made the nobles step back. The human speaks truth we have long ignored. Now, unless the Council wishes to formally challenge my right of selection, we have a trial to commence. The nobles withdrew, but Sarah's interface registered their heightened biological signatures. There'll be trouble, she muttered. Indeed, Valara agreed, but you handled them perfectly. The first test isn't in the trial chamber, Commander. It's in every interaction, every moment you prove humanity's worth to those who would deny it. The trial chamber itself defied physical laws as Sarah understood them. The space seemed to exist in multiple quantum states simultaneously, its boundaries shifting between dimensions. At its center floated a structure that resembled a double helix made of light and possibility. Your quantum interface allows you to perceive only a fraction of this chamber's true nature, Valara explained. The trial will temporarily merge your consciousness with the ship's quantum matrix. You must navigate the probability spaces while maintaining your individual identity. Sarah's scientific mind raced with questions, but her military training focused on the immediate challenge. What happens if I lose myself in the quantum matrix? Then our courtship ends, and with it, the possibility of alliance. Valara's expression softened. But I chose you because your quantum signature suggests you can succeed where others would dissolve into probability. The air shimmered as Valara initiated the trial sequence. Sarah felt her consciousness expanding, the quantum processors in her neural interface struggling to maintain cohesion as reality itself seemed to fragment around her. The chamber dissolved into pure mathematical potential, each quantum state offering a different path, a different future. Sarah's first instinct was to fight the dissolution, to cling to physical reality. But her years of quantum research had taught her better. Instead, she allowed her consciousness to flow into the quantum stream while maintaining a core of self defined by pure mathematics. Her neural interface adapted, translating quantum possibilities into comprehensible patterns. She became aware of other consciousnesses watching, the Lysarian nobles, their disapproval a tangible pressure in quantum space. But she also sensed something else, paths of possibility that their organic quantum sensors couldn't detect. Her artificial interface, primitive as they considered it, could perceive quantum states that their evolved biological systems had never adapted to process. Remarkable, Valara's consciousness brushed against hers. You see them too. The hidden dimensions our people have been blind to for millennia. Sarah's awareness expanded further, understanding flooding her transformed consciousness. The Lizarians had evolved to process quantum data organically, but that evolution had followed specific paths, limiting them in ways they'd never realized. Human technology, developing along different lines, had discovered entirely different aspects of quantum reality. She began mapping the hidden quantum states, her military mind automatically analyzing their strategic potential. Faster-than-light communication through dimensional spaces the Lizarians couldn't access. Stealth systems that could operate in quantum blind spots their organic technology couldn't perceive. And most importantly, ways to merge the two approaches, combining organic quantum processing with artificial quantum manipulation. The Noble's consciousness patterns reacted with shock as Sarah began demonstrating possibilities they'd never imagined. She felt Valara's approval and something more, a genuine connection as their quantum states harmonized in ways that transcended both human and Lizarian understanding. With a sudden surge of effort, Sarah pulled herself back into normal space-time, her neural interface smoking slightly but intact. The trial chamber reformed around her, and she found herself standing steady while several Lizarian nobles were being helped to their feet. "Impossible," Chancellor Zixtal whispered, his skin pale with shock. No primitive consciousness could navigate quantum space so effectively. "Not primitive," Valara corrected, her quantum eyes fixed on Sarah with newfound respect. "Different, and precisely what our people need." She turned to the assembled nobles. "The first trial is complete. Commander Chen has not only maintained her identity in quantum space, but has shown us quantum possibilities we never knew existed. Do any here wish to challenge these results?" The chamber remained silent, though Sarah's interface detected numerous communications passing between the nobles on frequencies they'd probably thought she couldn't perceive. She filed the information away for later analysis. "Commander," Valara addressed her formally, "you have passed the first trial, but more challenges await. The next will test not just your quantum adaptation, but your ability to merge human and Lizarian technologies in real space-time. Are you prepared to continue?" Sarah looked around the chamber, at the faces of those who would oppose her and those who might become allies. Her neural interface had recorded everything she'd experienced in quantum space, data that Earth's scientists would spend years analyzing. But more importantly, she'd proven that humanity had something unique to offer, even to a civilization as advanced as the Lizarians. "I'm ready," she answered, knowing that each trial would bring them closer to either a revolutionary alliance or a diplomatic disaster. "Though I suspect our friends in the council might try to make the next test even more challenging." Valara's skin rippled with what Sarah now recognized as suppressed laughter. "They will indeed, but they don't yet realize that their opposition only proves why this union is so necessary." She extended her hand, energy patterns swirling between them once again. "Shall we show them what humanity and Lizarians can achieve together?" Sarah took her hand, feeling their quantum fields align. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she would face them with the same determination that had driven humanity to reach for the stars. The fate of two civilizations still hung in the balance, but now she knew with certainty that both sides had something precious to gain from their union. The next trial awaited, and with it, the chance to demonstrate that humanity's greatest strength lay not in their technology alone, but in their ability to imagine possibilities that even an advanced civilization had never dreamed of. The Lizarian flagship's research chamber hummed with possibility as Sarah studied the holographic display of merged quantum organic circuits floating before her. After 3 days of continuous work, she and Valara were close to a breakthrough that could revolutionize both their civilizations. Her neural interface pulsed in harmony with the ship's bioquantum field, no longer struggling to process the alien data streams. The organic crystals keep destabilizing at the quantum junction, Valara observed, her iridescent fingers tracing patterns in the air that altered the holographic simulation. Your artificial quantum gates are too rigid for our living systems. Sarah smiled, recognizing the familiar frustration in her companion's voice. Maybe we're thinking about this wrong. Instead of forcing the systems to conform to each other, what if we create a quantum buffer zone? A space where both technologies can exist in multiple states simultaneously. Valara's quantum eyes swirled with sudden understanding. Like the probability space you navigated in your first trial, a dimensional overlap where... A harsh alarm cut through their discussion. Sarah's neural interface flared with warning signals as the research chamber's security protocols engaged. Through the crystalline walls, she could see streams of Lysarian security forces rushing through the corridors. Breach in the Imperial quarters, Valara announced, her skin patterns shifting to alert status. Someone has accessed the ancestral genetic archives. Sarah's military training kicked in immediately. The conservative faction making their move. Likely, they would need pure genetic templates to argue for maintaining biological purity. Valara's expression hardened, but the archives contain more than genetics. They hold the quantum signatures of every royal heir since our civilization began mastering quantum biology. A weapon, Sarah realized. They could use those signatures to challenge your right to rule, or worse. They could use them to erase my quantum pattern entirely. Valara began moving toward the door, but Sarah caught her arm. Wait, your security forces will be looking for a conventional breach. But what if? Sarah's neural interface buzzed as she accessed the ship's quantum network. There. Someone's using the quantum blind spots I detected in my trial. They're moving through dimensional spaces your sensors can't track. Valara's skin rippled with concern. Then we have no way to track them. You don't, Sarah corrected, pulling up a display from her neural interface. But my quantum processors operate on different principles. I can see their quantum wake. She pointed to a trail of disturbances in space-time that the Lysarian systems had dismissed as background noise. They're headed for the ship's organic core. The perfect place to hide, Valara muttered. The core's quantum complexity would mask any activities, but accessing it directly would kill most living beings. Sarah's interface projected a three-dimensional map of the ship's quantum architecture. Most beings, yes, but someone using stolen royal quantum signatures might survive. We need to get there first. The conventional routes will be blocked by security protocols. Then we don't take conventional routes. Sarah grinned, extending her hand. Trust me. Valara's quantum eyes analyzed her for a moment before she took Sarah's hand. Always. Sarah closed her eyes, letting her neural interface sync fully with Valara's quantum field. Together, they stepped sideways into a dimensional space that existed somewhere between normal reality and pure quantum potential. The ship's corridors became transparent, probability paths shimmering like spider webs in morning dew. Incredible, Valara whispered as they moved through quantum space. We suspected these dimensions existed, but could never perceive them clearly enough to navigate them. Human quantum technology evolved differently than yours, Sarah explained as they passed through solid walls like ghosts. We had to brute force our way into quantum manipulation, which led us to discover aspects of reality that your organic evolution missed. They emerged in the ship's core chamber to find Chancellor Zixtol and several other nobles gathered around the pulsing heart of the vessel. The stolen genetic archives floated in a quantum stasis field, their patterns being methodically altered. Step away from the archives, Valara commanded, her royal authority making the organic walls vibrate in sympathy. The Chancellor barely looked up from his work. You're too late, first successor. We've already begun purifying the royal lineage's quantum signatures. Your aberrant mutations, your willingness to pollute our biology with artificial quantum mechanics, will be erased from possibility itself. Sarah's interface analyzed the quantum equations flowing through the core. They're not just erasing your pattern, she reported. They're retroactively altering your entire family line to remove any genetic predisposition toward embracing new technologies. The purity of our evolution must be preserved, Zixtol declared. These humans, with their crude manipulations of quantum reality, would have us abandon millions of years of careful biological advancement. You're so focused on purity that you've become blind. Sarah stepped forward, her neural interface projecting a complex quantum equation into the space between them. Look at this. Really look, with everything your evolved senses can perceive. The equation hung in the air, a marriage of organic and artificial quantum mathematics that made several of the nobles gasp. Even Zixtol paused in his work. This is what Valara and I discovered today, Sarah continued. A way to create quantum systems that are neither purely organic nor purely artificial, but something entirely new. Your biological quantum processing is incredible, but it's reached its limits. Our artificial systems have different limits. But together, Valara moved to complete the equation, her quantum signature harmonizing with Sarah's in a way that made the ship's core pulse with new possibilities. Together, we transcend those limits. This is what you fear, Chancellor. Not that we will lose our purity, but that we will evolve beyond your ability to control. The core chamber hummed with tension as Zixtol studied the equation. Sarah could see the scientist in him, warring with the traditionalist, decades of innovation suppressed by millennia of doctrine. The equation is elegant, he admitted finally, but it violates every principle of pure quantum biology our ancestors established. Your ancestors didn't have access to the quantum dimensions humans can perceive, Sarah pointed out. They made the best choices they could with the knowledge they had. But knowledge grows. Understanding evolves. Isn't that the true legacy of your civilization? Before Zixtol could respond, alarms blared throughout the ship. Sarah's interface translated the warning signals. Massive quantum disturbances approaching from multiple vectors. The Void Hunters, one of the nobles whispered, his skin paling to near transparency. They must have detected our quantum manipulations. Valara's expression turned grave. The ancient enemies of all living civilizations. They feed on quantum potential itself, destroying any species that advances far enough to attract their attention. Sarah's tactical mind raced through the implications as her interface processed the incoming threat data. That's why you've been so careful about quantum manipulation, why you restricted your cells to organic evolution. You were hiding from them. And now they found us, Zixtol said bitterly. Your human quantum technology, your dimensional experiments, you've doomed us all. But Sarah was already moving to the core interface, her hands dancing through quantum probability spaces as she integrated the equation she and Valara had developed. No, we've given you a fighting chance. Your organic quantum systems can't perceive the dimensions the Void Hunters used to travel, but mine can. She looked at Valara, seeing in her quantum eyes the same realization. Together, they said simultaneously. The ship's core pulsed with new potential as Sarah and Valara began to merge their technologies, creating something that had never existed before. Around them, the nobles watched in astonishment as human innovation and Azarian biological mastery combined to prepare for a battle that would determine the fate of both their civilizations. The Void Hunters were coming, but for the first time in history, someone would be able to see them coming. The real test of their union was about to begin. The Void Hunters' approach turned space itself into a twisted canvas of quantum distortions. Through her enhanced neural interface, Sarah watched as holes in reality opened like hungry maws, each one large enough to swallow Earth's moon. The Lysarian flagship's organic hull quivered in response, its crystalline structure resonating with frequencies that made Sarah's teeth ache. Multiple quantum ruptures detecting across all known dimensional planes, she reported, her fingers dancing through holographic displays that merged human and Lysarian data streams. They're not just coming from normal space, they're emerging from dimensional layers your sensors never knew existed. Valara stood beside her in the ship's command nucleus, their quantum fields naturally synchronizing after days of close collaboration. The legends speak of their ability to devour entire civilizations, she said, her iridescent skin pulsing with strategic calculations, but never how to fight them. Because no one could see them properly until now, Sarah's neural interface projected a complete dimensional map of the approaching entities. Look, they're not just energy beings. They're quantum parasites, feeding off the potential energy of advanced civilizations. Chancellor Zixtol, who had quickly shifted from opponent to reluctant ally in the face of extinction, studied the display with growing understanding. They consume quantum probability itself, all possible futures of a species at once. Not this time. Sarah's hands flew across the quantum organic controls she and Valara had redesigned. Your organic technology gives us processing power beyond anything Earth has achieved. My quantum mapping lets us see where they're vulnerable. Together we can fight back. Valara finished, her quantum eyes swirling with complex calculations. She turned to address the assembled Lizarian command staff. Divert all power to the new quantum organic matrices, and evacuate all non-essential personnel to the secondary ships. The first attack came without warning in conventional space. One moment, the flagship was surrounded by its escort fleet. The next, 3 Lizarian vessels simply ceased to exist, not destroyed, but erased from quantum probability itself. Sarah's interface screamed with warnings as it detected the dimensional tear spreading toward them. They're not just attacking our ships, she realized, watching probability waves collapse in impossible patterns. They're trying to erase the very possibility of our civilizations developing quantum technology. Valara's skin shifted to battle patterns. Can we stop them? Better. Sarah's fingers blurred as she accessed the ship's newly modified core. We can turn their own quantum manipulation against them. Your organic computers can process the calculations faster than any artificial system. My quantum mapping can track their movements across all dimensional planes. If we combine both. She didn't need to finish the thought. Valara was already moving in perfect sync with her, their minds working in harmony through the ship's quantum network. Together, they began weaving a counter-pattern in quantum space, using the Void Hunter's own dimensional distortions as a framework. All ships, maintain position, Valara commanded. Let them think we're helpless. Commander Chen, are you ready? Sarah's neural interface was running hot, pushing the boundaries of what human technology was ever designed to process. Ready, but this is going to hurt. They struck back just as another Void Hunter emerged from its dimensional pocket. Sarah and Valara's combined quantum manipulation caught the entity in a web of probability, forcing it to exist in a single state rather than the multiple quantum possibilities it usually inhabited. The creature's scream resonated across dimensions, making reality itself shudder. It's working, Zixtol exclaimed, watching as the trapped Void Hunter arrived in quantum space. But the power requirements. Warning lights flashed throughout the command nucleus as the ship's organic systems began to overload. Sarah felt blood trickling from her nose as her neural interface struggled to maintain the quantum containment field. Through her link with Valara, she could sense the princess's own struggle to handle the massive energy flows. We can't hold them all, Sarah gasped as more Void Hunters emerged, learning from their companion's fate and attacking from multiple dimensional angles simultaneously. There are too many probability streams to control. Then we changed the game. Valara's quantum eyes locked with Sarah's. Do you trust me? Always. Valara's hands closed over Sarah's on the control interface. My people have one last defense, a complete quantum merger of consciousness. It's meant for the final bonding ritual of royal mates, but Sarah understood immediately. It would give us enough processing power to handle all the probability streams at once, but the risks are better than extinction. Valara's skin patterns shifted to display the complex equations of the bonding ritual. Once done, it cannot be undone. Our quantum signatures will be permanently entangled. Around them, more Void Hunters were emerging. The flagship shuddered as quantum attacks erased pieces of its structure from reality. They had seconds to decide. Sarah thought of Earth, of humanity's long journey to the stars, of all the possibilities that would be lost if she failed now. Do it. The bonding ritual felt like diving into a sun made of pure mathematics. Sarah's consciousness expanded exponentially as it merged with Valara's, the combined quantum processing capability exceeding anything either civilization had achieved alone. Through their shared awareness, they could see every dimensional layer the Void Hunters used, every quantum probability they manipulated. More importantly, they could see the fundamental flaw in the Void Hunters' quantum structure. They're not invincible, Sarah/Valara realized, their merged consciousness speaking with one voice. They're quantum parasites that evolved to feed on conventional probability manipulation. But our merged technology creates quantum patterns they can't digest. Together, they reached out across dimensional planes, weaving a new kind of quantum field, one that mixed organic and artificial processing in ways that had never existed before. The Void Hunters recoiled as their fundamental method of feeding became useless against this hybrid quantum signature. Now, their merged consciousness commanded, we show them why they should never have threatened either of our peoples. The counterattack rippled across space-time itself. Every quantum organic circuit in the flagship pulsed with power as Sarah and Valara turned the Void Hunters' own dimensional manipulation back on them. Instead of erasing possibilities, they forced the entities to experience every probability at once, overloading their ability to process quantum information. The results were spectacular. Void Hunters began imploding across multiple dimensions, their quantum structures collapsing as they lost control of their probability manipulation. Those that could still travel fled back to whatever dark spaces they had emerged from, leaving behind a wake of twisted space-time that would take years to settle. In the aftermath, as emergency crews rushed to stabilize the flagship's damaged systems, Sarah and Valara remained connected, their merged consciousness slowly separating back into individual awareness. But the connection remained, a permanent quantum entanglement that transcended normal space-time. Well, Sarah said finally, her voice hoarse, that wasn't the traditional courtship ritual I was expecting. Valara's laugh resonated through both their quantum fields. Perhaps not. But you've more than proved yourself worthy of joining the royal line, and proved something far more important to my people. They turned to find Chancellor Zixtol and the other nobles kneeling, their skin patterns displaying complex harmonics of respect and awe. The ancient prophecies spoke of a time when our people would face extinction, Zixtol said solemnly, and of salvation coming through union with those who saw reality differently than we do. We never imagined it would be so literal. Sarah's neural interface was picking up massive quantum disturbances from the Lysarian fleet, but not from damage. Their organic technology was already beginning to adapt, incorporating principles from human quantum mechanics to create new hybrid systems. Evolution, Valara said proudly. Real evolution, not just the careful cultivation of existing traits. Together, our civilizations have just taken a leap forward that neither could have managed alone. Sarah smiled, feeling their quantum connection pulse with shared purpose. And this is just the beginning, isn't it? Indeed. Valara turned to address her people, but kept her hand linked with Sarah's. We have proven that strength lies not in purity but in union, in the combination of different perspectives and technologies. The age of separation is over. The time of quantum convergence has begun. Through their link, Sarah felt the truth of those words resonating across probability itself. Together, they had not only survived an encounter with humanity's greatest nightmare, they had evolved beyond it. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them as one people, one civilization, bridging the gap between organic and artificial, between caution and innovation. The future was no longer a single set of possibilities, but an infinite array of quantum potential waiting to be explored. Earth's orbital defense grid activated as the Lysarian flagship emerged from quantum space, its crystalline hull still bearing scars from the battle with the Void Hunters. Through the quantum link she shared with Valara, Sarah felt the anxiety of her homeworld's military commanders. The massive alien vessel now incorporated visible human quantum technology, making it appear even more otherworldly than before. "They're charging weapons," Sarah noted, monitoring Earth's response through her neural interface. "Old habits die hard. Then let us give them something new to consider." Valara's quantum eyes sparkled as she initiated the demonstration they prepared. The flagship's hybrid quantum organic systems powered up, creating a dimensional display visible to every human on Earth's daylight side. The battle against the Void Hunters played out in simplified form, showing how human and Azarian technologies had combined to defeat an ancient terror. More importantly, it showed the possibilities that now lay before both civilizations. "General Martinez is hailing us," Sarah reported, a smile touching her lips. Along with approximately 300 other Earth authorities, all demanding explanations. "Shall we give them a proper introduction to the new age?" Valara's skin rippled with anticipation as she opened a channel to all Earth's communications systems simultaneously. Sarah stepped forward, her quantum-enhanced consciousness automatically translating their message into every human language simultaneously. "People of Earth, I am Commander Sarah Chen, speaking to you alongside Princess Valara of the Azure Empire. What you just witnessed was not merely a battle. It was the birth of a new era for both our civilizations." Valara joined her, their quantum fields harmonizing visibly. "The threat we faced could have ended both our species. Instead, it forced us to evolve beyond our limitations, to combine human innovation with Azarian organic mastery in ways neither of us thought possible." Through their link, Sarah felt the impact of their words rippling through human consciousness. Fear warred with excitement, suspicion with hope. She focused on the quantum patterns emerging from Earth's scientific communities, patterns of understanding and growing wonder. "The Void Hunters showed us that isolation leads to vulnerability," Sarah continued, "but together, we're stronger than any threat. The hybrid technology we developed isn't just a weapon, it's a bridge between our civilizations." The flagship's organic hull shifted, revealing the quantum organic laboratories where human and Azarian scientists were already working together. The images showed new medical technologies that could revolutionize healing, communication systems that transcended space-time, and environmental restoration projects that could reverse centuries of damage. "We stand ready to share all of this," Valara announced. "Not as conquerors or saviors, but as partners in evolution." Chancellor Zixtol stepped forward, his former opposition transformed into diplomatic purpose. "The Azure Empire formally proposes an alliance based on mutual technological exchange and cultural integration. Our civilizations complement each other in ways we never imagined possible." The response from Earth was immediate and overwhelming. Sarah's neural interface struggled to process the flood of reactions, everything from marriage proposals to scientific treatises analyzing the quantum organic hybrid technology. But beneath the chaos, she sensed a fundamental shift in human consciousness. The future had changed, and everyone could feel it. "There will be resistance," Sarah murmured to Valara through their private quantum link. "On both sides, not everyone will welcome such rapid change." "Change is the only constant in the universe," Valara replied, her quantum signature pulsing with determination. "But we've proven that evolution doesn't have to mean losing what we are. It can mean becoming more than we ever dreamed possible." The next few hours were a blur of diplomatic meetings, scientific conferences, and public appearances. Sarah and Valara moved between Earth and the flagship, their quantum-linked consciousness allowing them to be effectively present in multiple places at once. They watched as human quantum physicists marveled at Azarian organic computing, while Azarian bioengineers studied human neural interfaces with growing excitement. But the most profound changes were happening on a smaller scale. Through their quantum link, Sarah and Valara felt the first tentative connections forming between human and Lysarian minds. Scientists, artists, philosophers, people from both civilizations reaching out across the dimensional barriers that had once separated them. "They're adapting faster than we predicted," Sarah observed, watching as a human teenager successfully interfaced with Lysarian quantum organic technology for the first time. The potential for quantum consciousness was always there in human biology. It just needed the right catalyst. Valara's skin patterns shifted to display complex harmonics of pride and joy. "And you artificial quantum systems are already teaching our organic technology new ways to process reality. The synthesis is becoming self-sustaining." In the flagship's main laboratory, they stood before a holographic display of the combined quantum network forming between Earth and the Lysarian fleet. Each point of light represented a successful merger of human and alien consciousness, creating patterns that grew more complex by the moment. "It's beautiful," Sarah whispered, seeing in the display an echo of the quantum dance she and Valara had shared during their bonding. "Like watching evolution in real time." "This is only the beginning," Valara replied, her quantum eyes swirling with visions of possibility. "The Void Hunters showed us how vulnerable isolated civilizations can be, but they also showed us a path forward. Together, we're not just stronger, we're becoming something entirely new." Through their quantum link, they shared a vision of the future. Cities that merged organic and artificial technology, ships that could navigate all layers of quantum reality, and most importantly, a civilization that celebrated diversity rather than fearing it. The quantum convergence was reshaping both their peoples, not by erasing their differences, but by showing how those differences could create something greater than the sum of its parts. "The real work begins now," Sarah said, her neural interface tracking the thousands of projects already launching across both civilizations. "Merging our technologies was the easy part. Merging our cultures, our ways of thinking, will be the greatest adventure either of our peoples has ever undertaken." Valara completed her thought, their quantum connection humming with shared purpose. "But isn't that what both humans and Lysarians do best? Explore the unknown. Push the boundaries of possibility." Sarah smiled, feeling the truth of those words resonating through their bond. The future was no longer a single path, but an infinite quantum array of possibilities, waiting to be explored by two civilizations that had learned to see through each other's eyes. Together, they turned to face the challenges ahead, their merged consciousness already plotting the next steps in their shared evolution. The quantum courtship that had begun as a diplomatic gambit had become something far more profound, a template for the transformation of two civilizations into something the universe had never seen before. And somewhere in the quantum void, they sensed other civilizations watching, learning, preparing to evolve in their own ways. The age of isolation was ending. The symphony of quantum evolution was just beginning to play. 1 year after the Void Hunter incident, the Lysarian flagship hovered above the New Alexandria complex, a massive structure that straddled the line between Earth and quantum space. Its crystalline spires pulsed with hybrid quantum organic energy, a physical manifestation of the union between human and Lysarian civilization. Sarah stood at its heart, her neural interface now fully integrated with both artificial and organic quantum systems. "The dimensional stabilizers are ready," she announced, feeling the complex's systems through her enhanced consciousness. "We can begin the final phase." Valara moved beside her, their quantum bond humming with shared purpose. The princess, now queen-elect of the newly formed Quantum Concordat, wore ceremonial robes that shifted between states of matter, representing the merger of traditional Lysarian culture with human innovation. "Our scientists confirm that the quantum harmonic resonance is perfect," Valara replied, her iridescent skin displaying patterns of anticipation. "Earth's quantum field is aligning with Lysarian frequencies exactly as predicted." Around them, human and Lysarian technicians worked in seamless coordination, their own developing quantum connections allowing for communication that transcended traditional language. The New Alexandria complex wasn't just a symbol, It was humanity's first true step into quantum civilization. Chancellor Zixtal, now serving as Chief Ambassador of Integration, approached with a holographic display of final readings. The quantum convergence has already exceeded our most optimistic projections. Human consciousness is adapting to quantum awareness faster than anyone thought possible. Because we stopped fighting our different approaches to evolution, Sarah observed, watching through her enhanced senses as quantum probability waves shifted around them. Human technological innovation and Lizarian organic development, they're two paths to the same destination. Through their bond, she felt Valara's agreement resonating across multiple quantum states. The past year had brought changes that neither civilization could have achieved alone. Human quantum technology had given the Lizarians new ways to perceive and manipulate reality, while Lizarian organic computing had shown humanity how to evolve their consciousness beyond purely physical limitations. The first quantum translation networks are online, Sarah reported, monitoring the data streams flowing through her interface. We're receiving signals from at least 3 other civilizations that were hiding from the Void Hunters. They're interested in joining the Concordat. Valara's quantum eyes swirled with complex calculations. The galaxy is waking up. Our victory showed them that evolution doesn't have to make you vulnerable. It can make you stronger, especially when shared with others. The main chamber of New Alexandria hummed as they initiated the final sequence. This was the moment they'd been working toward, the first controlled quantum evolution of an entire planet. Earth's natural quantum field would be enhanced, allowing for easier integration between human and Lizarian technologies while maintaining the unique characteristics of both. All stations report ready, Zixtal announced. Quantum harmonic resonance at optimal levels. Sarah and Valara stepped onto the central platform, their quantum-linked consciousness expanding to encompass the entire complex. Through their enhanced awareness, they could feel Earth's population holding its breath, watching as their world prepared to take its next evolutionary step. Together, they spoke in unison, their merged consciousness directing the power of both civilizations' combined quantum mastery. The transformation began subtly at first. Those with developed quantum sensitivity felt it immediately, a shift in the fabric of reality itself as Earth's quantum fields synchronized with Lizarian frequencies. But soon, even those without enhancement could see the effects. The sky seemed deeper, colors more vibrant, as human consciousness began naturally perceiving quantum states that had always existed just beyond normal awareness. Integration successful, Sarah reported, monitoring the cascade of changes through her neural interface. No signs of quantum instability or consciousness rejection. Earth's biosphere is adapting perfectly. As are its people, Valara added, their shared perception tracking the millions of human minds, beginning to explore their expanded awareness. The quantum seed we planted is growing exactly as intended. Through their link, they watched as the transformation spread. Children were the first to fully embrace the change, their developing minds naturally adapting to perceive multiple quantum states simultaneously. Adults followed more slowly, but just as surely, their consciousness expanding to encompass new ways of seeing and understanding reality. But the most profound changes were happening at the cultural level. As human quantum awareness grew, the artificial barriers between civilizations began to fade. Language became less important as people learned to share thoughts and emotions directly through quantum resonance. Art, music, and science evolved into forms that could only exist through the merger of human and Lizarian perspectives. We're receiving the first long-range quantum signals, Sarah announced, her interface detecting transmissions from deep space. Other civilizations are emerging from hiding. The quantum awakening is spreading across the galaxy. Valara's skin rippled with patterns of joy and anticipation. The age of isolation is truly over. Every civilization that joins the Concordat brings new perspectives, new ways of perceiving quantum reality. Together, we're creating something the universe has never seen before. Sarah felt the truth of those words resonating through their bond. The quantum courtship that had begun with the selection as Valara's mate had evolved into something far greater, a template for the evolution of consciousness itself. Their personal connection had shown two civilizations how to grow beyond their limitations while maintaining their essential nature. "The Void Hunters will return," she said thoughtfully, monitoring the quantum detection networks they'd established. "They have adapted to our current level of technology." "And we'll be ready," Valara replied confidently, "because we'll have evolved beyond it. Every civilization that joins us brings new ideas, new ways of approaching quantum reality. Our strength lies in our diversity, in our ability to grow together without losing what makes us unique." Through their quantum connection, they shared a vision of the future, not a single path, but an infinite array of possibilities. They saw human and Assyrian children growing up together, their hybrid quantum consciousness perceiving realities their parents never dreamed of. They saw starships powered by quantum organic technology exploring dimensions that neither civilization could access alone. And most importantly, they saw their peoples continuing to evolve, not towards some predetermined endpoint, but into something new and wonderful that incorporated the best of both worlds. "Ready for the next step?" Sarah asked, feeling new quantum signals arriving from distant civilizations eager to join their alliance. Valara's quantum eyes swirled with love and determination. "With you, always." Together, they turned to face the future they had helped create. The quantum courtship had ended, but the real adventure, the evolution of consciousness itself, was just beginning. As they prepared to welcome new civilizations into the Concordat, they knew that each new connection, each new perspective, would help them all grow stronger. Create a highly detailed, realistic sci-fi scene featuring an alien princess seated on a grand throne in an ancient, majestic setting. The alien princess is a beautiful young woman with blue skin, piercing eyes, and long, flowing dark hair. She wears a luxurious, intricate outfit with metallic and golden details that exude regality and elegance. Around her, a group of alien warriors stands guard, all with matching blue skin and dressed in ornate armor, conveying a strong protective presence. The background is filled with grand, ancient pillars and structures, giving the scene a timeless, otherworldly atmosphere. Make the lighting natural and warm, enhancing the vibrant blue tones of the character's skin and the rich textures of their attire. Ensure the image looks highly realistic, capturing the intensity of the alien princess's gaze and the regal, sci-fi ambience of the scene.